Hello, everybody, and welcome to WTS 280. What's the Story Podcast 280. My name's Dan Murray.
And I am Graham Merrigan.
How are you, Merrow?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm freezing.
Freezing.
Yeah, other than that, all good, my friend. Other than that, all good.
We've been let down recently by other things outside of our control, and we've also been busy. So we haven't given a pod in 2 weeks, but we're recording 3 this week.
We are recording 3, and this is...
Are we going to put them all out together, or what's the story?
So, well...
Unintended.
This one will be the first one, and then there will be a second one that follows very quickly afterwards. But then the third one will drop down people's chimneys like a little Christmas gift.
Perfect. And that's the Christmas special.
It is indeed, yeah.
Perfect.
So, yeah, man, yeah, look, it is absolutely freezing. We're in the midst of a cold snap. I hope people are minding themselves and keep warm and all that crack. It is absolutely bitter out there. But, yeah, as you said, we've been very busy. A few things have gone against us over the last couple of weeks. I've been up and down the road to Belfast, over to Edinburgh, back, fucking doing all kinds of Jesus things and everything, and just haven't had a minute. So, yeah.
And I've been just watching the World Cup.
I mean, listen, this is it. And we will be talking about that in an episode very, very soon. Probably the next one.
Who are we talking to now, Dan, that we're going to release now?
Absolutely delighted to welcome back friend of the show, Mr. Glamour Hammer himself, Gearoid Farrelly.
Hello, how's it going, lads?
I love the name Glamour Hammer. I love that you were just like, I just like the name Glamour Hammer after my name.
That's it. Like, because it's just like, what the hell am I going to call the show? Because it's the worst thing in the world that you have to do, I think, as a comedian, because you always have to do it months, like sometimes a year before you do the tour. Like, it starts in Edinburgh, so like in now, like for a show that you're doing in August, you have to be like, what's the name? What's the show about? And the amount of times I've gone to Edinburgh, gone down to do a preview of the first show, and then looked in the brochure and go, what? What was I thinking? None of this is in the show.
None of this is relevant anymore.
No.
But, the last time we had you on the show, right? You were saying you were kind of playing down. Oh yeah, I'll do 1 or 2. I'm doing a few dates. I'll see what happens. Jesus Christ, it's non-stop the last 2 years.
I know, it's been mad. Like, I mean, I have to say, nobody's more surprised than me.
Yeah.
And it's funny because even my agent keeps saying, nobody could have seen this coming. And I'm just like, really could they not have seen this coming? There isn't one person in here that believes in you, Gearoid.
But like the discussions that we've had in the past are like, you know, but you were kind of not rejected. Rejected is the wrong term, but you were happy with what you had done to date as a stand-up, and then next minute, Jesus, you're non-stop. Would that be fair to say?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've always had this in my head. Not that I've always, but like for the past 2 or 3 years, I've definitely thought, okay, I've had a nice run. I've been doing it 10 years, more than 10 years. It's worked to some extent, but it's like anything else, like that, like when you have a job you really like, but it doesn't pay that well. Yeah. And then it does come the time where like, I'm going to have to give this up so I can get on with my life. Like, and everybody has to do it. People that, people that make and sell pots. Do you know what I mean? Like gardeners, they eventually go, do you know what? I need to I need to get rid of the hobby here for a while and get a proper job. And that's what I thought. I thought I'd reached that point. So I was like, well, grand. I've had a nice time. Move on. But yeah, now it's worked, which is such a relief. Because I did, like, I mean, I did try and get out. Like, I did a master's, or not a master's, but a postgrad during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because I used to be a programmer, like, which I was shit at. Like, I was, I mean, I was just pretty bad at it. I was always willing to Google and like try my best, but it wasn't that good at it. Like, so I went back and I did a postgrad in web development. Well, I go into this, and I got halfway through and I was like, still shit at this. So I think maybe it's like having no other option. That it's worked out for the moment.
But Joanne probably didn't give you an option though. It was probably like, here, you're touring with me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said no a lot to that. Like I said no. Like I mean, I definitely said no 5 times. And I was getting annoyed at her for keeping asking, and I was like, going, just get someone else. Just honestly get someone else. I'm not into it. I don't want to tour Ireland again. I'm done. And I was still gonna write, still gonna do, my bits and bobs, do maybe like 10, 15 dates tour, October, November. That was my thought. It was like, I'll be in comedy for, 3 months a year. That'll do me. That'll scratch the itch. But yeah, and then it became a point of, well, hold on, how many Vicar Streets is it? This has suddenly become a decent amount of money. So yeah, and then I just, you just say yeah, and then you just gradually do more and more. Then all of a sudden I was doing the whole tour and the UK tour, and then my little tour that I was going to do off the back of it is now a big tour. So yeah, I mean, that's been my thing with stand-up the whole time, is I've never had a plan. I've always just been, I'll just see what happens.
And then
every time
the programming fell through, and it looked more lucrative to be doing Vicar Street.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I still feel I would have loved to have got a job as a programmer just to see if I could do it. But like, hey, it's not over yet. I could be there this time next year.
Yeah, all we need is another pandemic to come along.
That's exactly it. Like, I mean, because before the pandemic, it was like, oh no, this will, life rolls on, and there was none of these things that could come out of the blue that could hit us. And then there was a pandemic, and then we get like the pandemic's over, like, oh, thank God. And then all of a sudden Russia invades Ukraine. You're like, what the hell is going on?
The other thing to come out of this as well is that if the comedy doesn't pan out, if the programming and web development doesn't pan out, you've also picked up experience as a white van man in all of this. So I mean, you can always go back to driving vans, like.
None of you saw me drive a van. I think I'm a better programmer than I am a van driver. The number, like, do you know what I didn't realize, right? Is that all of the toll bridges are built for cars. So, like, if you have a car, the toll is at the right level. The number of times I nearly fell out the window of a van trying to put money in a toll. I swear, because you have to lean down, like, to swipe your card. And that's not the sort of thing that anybody tells you. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh. But yeah, I have to say now, I don't miss having to parallel park a van.
Yeah, there was the Instagram stories kept me going there for a few weeks.
Yeah,
as you were driving around the country, it was gold, absolute fucking gold. Like,
there was like the Everyman in Cork. The stage door is on a main road, right? So our agent would like send these emails and just be like, "You need to send someone out to park the van. He can park the van." And they would be like, she was like, "No, really, like he actually can park the van. He doesn't, like, if you're keeping a car parking space, you need to keep 3 because it's just." But the problem was, it's on McCurtain Street in Cork, and somebody always parks outside the stage door, and it was always a really tight park. And the one time I had to parallel park it myself, I thought, how the hell am I going to do this? And I was like, just, because all the lads are there ready to take the set in, all watching you do this. And I was like, just quickly and confidently, that's how to do this. So I reversed, like, very quick, and I hit something. Now, what I'd hit, like, they have like a thing with flowers in it, and I basically run that over.
For legal reasons, I'd be saying that as well, rather than I hit a car. But go on, yeah, go on.
Well, a car I could live with, but all I knew was that behind where I was pulling into, there was a beer garden, and I was just thought, have I just gone right through a beer garden?
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
No, I hadn't. It was just the flowers of the Everyman. So sorry about that.
Jesus, yeah. Well,
how did it evolve to a white van? Because it wasn't a car, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were going in a car, and then Joanne had this Barocca and a plywood, like backdrop, like with JOA letters, and they were on the back of the stage. So then she kind of said, "Well, why don't we just bring them around the country?" And I was like, "I'd drive a Mini." Like, like Joanne's case had it filled to capacity, and she said, "Okay, I'll see if I can get a van." So she went and she got a van, but we got a van that was like a proper massive I'm moving house van, as opposed to like a little caravan. So this thing was absolutely huge because we didn't even realize we could dismantle the letters. Like, so they were all laid flat in the back of the car. Like, it was just, we did not know what we were doing.
That's
like,
a calamity.
It was just literally the two of us going, how do we make this work? And then we were in Galway, I think maybe 4 weeks into the tour, when we realized we could actually we could strap the letters to the wall of the van and leave them hanging up, which would just save us so much time. So we did that, and we did a little dance in the back of the van. We were like, "Oh my god, we made it work!" It was literally like tour management 101. We were getting halfway through it.
Is this the reason you don't have 15-foot hammers as your set backdrop now as well?
I will never have a set. I was doing a tour with Sarah Milliken at the same, because I was doing dates with her at the same time, and she was like, "Why are you bringing around letters? Like, we have a gobo." And I was like, "What's a gobo? Tell me more." And it was just basically like this little disc that they put into the lights that projects her name on the back of the stage.
That's all you need.
Like, she was like, "We don't even collect it from the theater. They post it back in a jiffy bag." Like, we were doing this elaborate setup. We had like smoke machine, and it was just, oh my god.
What did Joanne say when you told her about that?
Yeah, she was like, I go, "What?" We're like, "What are we doing this shit for?" But it was like a little event.
Just have that hilarious from Gremlins where they're in the movie theater and they realize they can make the puppet shadows, and it's just that scene. It's just, no, look, you just put this in front of the light and look.
Yeah, exactly. I swear to God, it was like watching the birth of fire or something. It's just, why would nobody tell us? Like, why? Like, of all the people that we spoke to, like, when she got the letters made, like, which cost her a fortune, like a gobo cost her 50 quid. Like,
amazing.
Never even heard of a gobo.
Nobody mentioned it.
Amazing.
Oh, that's hilarious. As well as Sarah just saying, "Why don't you just get a gobo?"
Yeah, exactly. It's just like,
it's like those things now.
Size.
Yeah, my mom, I think, has one for the Christmas decorations, and you can change the disc on it or something.
Yeah, you see, that's it. Your mom is more technically, your mom is more stage know-how than all of the most professional people in the industry that were giving us advice.
That's anyone looking for the tour manager. Jens will moonlight. Get in touch with Brown.
Oh, that's so funny.
Sorry, I think I'm getting whatever dose on the go. I think I'm getting it. Because every time I go to laugh, I feel as though my throat is going to just fucking rip open. So I'm trying not to laugh while not cough down the microphone at you.
Same. I sound like I've got just have something coming. You know, like when I don't mind it when it's like this.
Yeah.
You sound a bit sexy, a bit Michael Bublé. But the problem is that you're just going, I know tomorrow I'm going to be in bits with this. So I'm horsing vitamin C into me.
Oh, listen. Yeah.
I swear, like, it's so funny. Like, I've got like the amount of like vitamin tablets I'm taking before shows in the evening.
Really?
It's not funny, like,
because someone in your family, like in their 60s or 70s, would be like, "Oh, it's a change in the weather." What change? It's fucking freezing.
I know.
Right there.
I know, like, and it's really weird because I was away filming and I come home after 2 weeks and I've been in the sun.
Yeah.
I come home and the weather here had just, like, it was proper winter. Because before I left, it was like, you know, you could get away with a summer jacket, but, you know, literally I was away 2 weeks and I come home and it was all of a sudden Christmas.
I saw that on your Insta story. What was the story there? Is that an exciting, like, as a project, or?
I did a part in a movie this year.
Oh.
So we just had to go away and finish it. Yeah. So yeah, it's called Four Mothers and it's out, it'll be out the end of next year, I think.
Deadly.
Yeah, so it's good. It's
Is that your first film?
No, I did. I did the film, an Irish film, The Bright Side, a couple of years ago, maybe
Right.
2 or 3 years ago. Um, yeah, that was really good fun. But I kind of a slightly bigger part in this one, and it's been going on ages because we filmed it and then we'd go away to do like stuff in Maspalomas,
Oh, God love
just a
yous.
couple of bits. I
Awful.
know.
Absolutely awful. Just the things you do for your art, huh?
Oh, it was terrible. Oh, you wouldn't have liked it, lads. No, you really would.
I
Staying in a
remember
nice hotel. No.
Oh,
I
it
remember
sounds like
seeing
a
you on
piss
your
trip, yeah.
Instagram going, and then I remember when you were coming back, I think you might have said something like, "Oh, 2 weeks away." I said to myself, "That couldn't have been 2 weeks ago already."
I know, yeah, it was because I was doing 3 days with, it was 3 days on the film to finish it. And then I had to come back and then go straight back to, like on the same day, I flew to, I did this telly thing with Neve, which I can't say what it is, but.
The is movies, the world of movies and TV and all, something that you'd be interested in segueing towards?
I'd love to do more acting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
I love doing that, but I have no interest in presenting. Like not for me. That is not my
Really?
bag. No,
I could see
not
you
at
on
all.
like Ireland AM or 6 o'clock show or something.
Hanging myself.
Jesus.
It's
No,
telly not something you're into.
no. I just have no interest. It
You're-
doesn't.
Are you saying it's the 29th of August? You get a phone call. Dahi O'Shea's come down with the scooters. We need someone to stand in.
You and Maura Duran.
Can you?
It's
Can
like
you?
keep ringing. You're at the end of a very long list.
Joanne probably
going.
told him he'll say yes on the 5th time. Keep asking him.
Yeah,
Never.
that's it.
No, it's just it's. I just think, like the people that do it, I think are amazing. Like, because I think I think it's one of those jobs that people think is really really easy, but I think it's much harder than you think it is. Because even watching them do it, I know I'd be roaring my head off at the camera, like at a gig. Whereas they're always so relaxed and they're always so calm. No, that would just rot my brain now. I wouldn't be on for that at all, and I'd be so bad at it as well because, like even when they do sometimes panelists on those things, like like they used to do, like they'd have you doing the papers on something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember doing that before it was on that Dahi and Mora thing. I was just like, this is the most stupid thing. What? Who cares what I think about? I can't even remember what it was, but it was just like, I came to Cork for this.
For 10 minutes?
For 10 minutes to go, like, I don't even know what the news stories were, and I was nervous going like, oh God, I better make sure I say the right thing about the horse meat scandal. I couldn't give a shit, like. And then, like, the other thing that happened as well was I went in. They put into makeup. I've seen a photograph of that recently. It came up on my the photos memory on your iPhone.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, that the amount of makeup they put on me for that, I look like Angela Lansbury, like just like blow dried hair and like big eyebrows. It's like what? But it is one of those things though that like when you start doing stand up, you've got to start doing all of this other stuff that is nowhere near as enjoyable as stand up, and you have to be good at that as well in order.
So you don't like the other stuff?
I hate the other stuff. I've no interest in the other stuff. And the thing about it is, that's the thing. I'm good at stand up, but I'm shit at all the other stuff you have to do to get on. Like, and it's mad because the reason I'm selling tickets now is because people saw me do stand up. But if they'd seen me, like there was nobody watching me do the papers with Dahi and Maura and going, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a ticket for this.
I remember when I went to see you actually in Vicar Street, and when you were finished your set, I'm not even lying, but two or three people surrounding me were like, oh, we must go to that show, because you were taking the piss, kept keeping reminding people. I think it was about your Liberty Hall dates.
Oh yeah.
And you were like, don't forget. And then the couple of people behind us were all like, I'd love to see more of his sets. So that works like.
Yeah, well, it does. I mean, I definitely think that them seeing you, enjoying you do something, and then that's what you're selling.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest form of marketing there is, I think.
Yeah.
And I suppose I've done all of the other stuff long enough to know that none of it. I've never been interested in that format. Like, they're just, I'm just so bad at it. Like, and I don't mind being bad at it, like, because I actually think, like, even like I just did the 6 o'clock show last night.
I was watching you, yeah.
And I was just
Are you nervous on those shows?
I'm not nervous. Like, I wish I was more nervous, to be honest, because then it would make you run stuff in your head.
Yeah.
But what happens to me is it's not that I'm that nervous, but then when I sit there, this voice in my brain goes, just, would you listen to you? You fucking idiot. Like, there's just this voice, but I don't think it's bad to be sitting there or to even to be doing stuff and thinking you're bad at it, because, like, I do think it makes you work a bit harder,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I'm doing stuff like that, I really need to work hard.
Yeah. That's gas. I saw you twice over the course of the last 2 or 3 years. It feels like you have been
I know, yeah, the never ending
5
tour.
years. But both nights, it's maybe 5-6 months in the difference. But I love how you take the piss out of hecklers.
Oh yeah.
I just love it. Like, is your kind of content as a warm up act mostly heckling, like dealing with kind of ad hoc?
No, it just depends on the night. Like, see, the thing about it is, I've never, like, some comedians are really good at, like, bringing the heckler in and coming. I'm just like, who is this person that just thinks that there's 1,000 people to pay 20 quid for a ticket, and they think they have something to say and they should be allowed to say it to everybody. I just have no patience, so I tend to lay into them. Like, now, sometimes I do have to go now, especially on my own show, because I'm like, well, you know what, this person actually did buy a ticket for you, so, like, don't be. But when you're a support, I just absolutely annihilate them, like, and I love that.
I loved when because exactly what you just said there, you annihilate someone on the show I went to, and the rest of the crowd loved that as well. I love that with warm-ups and like you said, it's funny you say that, because I only kind of really remember it with warm-up acts more so, whereas the main act is kind of just, oh, you all right there?
Yeah, they get it. I think what happens is the main act, the support act is the one that will get the flack, because they haven't paid to see them and they're like, oh, who's this? So
yeah,
it brings out the dickhead in them, and I can feel it myself, like, when I go to see something and, like, the warm-up comes on, I'm like, oh, here we go.
yeah.
And then I think, well, that's you, actually.
And what's the crowds like, and what's the difference? Is there a difference between the crowds in Ireland and over in England?
No, they're pretty much the same. Like, there's still an excitement, I guess, around Joanne. They know me, which is gas. Like, I presume it's from the Instagram stuff.
You say that with modesty. Why wouldn't they know you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. It's nice. It's like, it's always. I think it's as well. A lot of this comes from. I suppose I've done it so long. I'm not new. I've been around a while.
You've done Dahi and Morda, after all.
Exactly. I mean, surely I can just write my own ticket now.
This is it. Like,
I mean, just put that on a CV. I'm surprised I have to audition for anything anymore. I should be offer only. It's like, did you not sing more and Dahi? No.
Horse me?
Yeah.
What? Anybody? Yeah, and I just guess I'm used to playing to a cold crowd. I'm used to them being like, who's this? What's going on? And then winning them over, and then they like me by the end of it. So I guess now, from the past year, people do know me and they like me. And it's always like, even when she announces me from the side of the stage and they go, yeah, when they hear a cheer for my name, I'm like, wow. Like, that doesn't get old. It hasn't got old yet, anyway.
Do you get a bit of imposter syndrome? Like, because you do seem like you're kind of self-deprecating at times, and it's kind of like, no, Grod, you're genuinely funny, man. You're genuinely funny, man.
Yeah, well, you see, the
Exactly.
thing is, like, I actually, know, that's the one thing about comedy is, like, I was talking to my friends about this yesterday, and we were saying, well, like, we get performance appraisals. Like, when I was a programmer, they brought me into a room twice a year to tell me if they were happy with my work. Like, every 5 minutes in this job, you're told how happy they are with your work. So I definitely can accept I'm good comedian and I'm good at the job. But then it's everything else, because like so much of it is not that. So much of it is about trying to, it's like this thing of we all pretend we're a celebrity. It's like, I'm a comedian. Do you know what I mean? I'll sell tickets. People will come or they won't. I'll sell 1,000 tickets in Dublin, but if I go to Armagh, I might only sell 10. Do you know what I mean? So let's stop pretending I'm Dermot O'Leary here.
You've sold out Portlaoise anyway, so
yeah.
there you go.
Multiple times, God bless them.
Listen, I know, because that's how I went on and I was like, oh, he sold out. Right, that's my night round. So yeah.
But you see, do you know what it is? That doesn't help us. Like that whole thing of, and even when when I was starting out touring on my own, like that thing of the angle of interviews was always like, he's famous and he's doing really well. It's like, well, no, I'm not. I'm not actually famous. I'm new and I'm funny. Like, and they're the things that are true. But you telling a whole group of people that I'm famous and I'm doing really well, and then they go and see me and there's 20 people in the audience. It's like, well, you're not helping me here. Like, none of this is helpful. just tell them the true bits. Like, and I think I'm from a really lucky generation of comedians in Ireland, because the arse fell out of everything in 2010, and me, Eleanor, Chris Kent, even Fred Cook to some extent. I think he was a bit slightly before us, but we all were coming through at a time when like the arse was falling out of everything. Like, it was just, there was nobody getting telly jobs. There was like ticket sales were massively coming down. So we all got to like be good. This sounds terrible, but we all got to learn how to be good comedians. Whereas what was happening before that was people were doing, they were gigging for 2 years and then they were on telly and then they sell all the tickets and there was all this pressure. Whereas now, like, I mean, if this was 10 years ago and I was doing my first Figure Street, I wouldn't sleep for 6 months.
Yeah.
But whereas now I know, like, actually it'll be grand. I mean, I've done so many solo shows, but like there were, like even people like PJ Gallagher, like he's absolutely amazing, but he was doing like his first show he ever wrote, he was doing in front of rooms that were like 500, 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Like the pressure of that would drive you to, like, that would drive me mad now. That would drive me insane.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, all of that stuff. Like, I mean, because like stand-up is quite, there's nobody else there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm on stage and I hear somebody in my dressing room, like if I see someone going into my dress, there's nobody backstage to do anything about that. It's, if a light goes down or if something happens side stage, it's all me. There's nobody else there. You're completely on your own. I mean, sometimes you feel that, especially if you're having a hard gig or if like the support goes home, you're like, God, it's just me. And no matter how good the gig goes, you're walking off stage and going, right, get into my car.
Yeah, that's me. Just a lonely 3-1 on the drive home.
Exactly. That's exactly it. You're like going, like trying not to buy chocolate and an apple green.
Yeah.
That's, to be honest with you, that's a lot of the job.
But come here, would the support act leave before the main act?
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely say, or like when you go on, like when you're done, like I'd say, bring me on and then head off. Like sometimes they say, sometimes they don't.
They even know that especially if it's in Dublin and they're doing like a smaller gig.
Yeah, do another gig, doubling up somewhere, or or also if it's a long drive. I mean, that was why I loved being a support act. Like there were times Neil Delamere would be finishing the show and I'd be sitting on my couch. Like if it was Dundalk or something, I'd be arriving in, I'd be in my pajamas on the couch and I'd go, God, he's only coming off stage now to an empty room.
But it has like
That's
22 has
mad.
been a hectic year for you. So like, are you going to get much downtime now over the Christmas? Will you get to
Yeah,
switch off?
I'm finished on the 21st, so I'm traveling back to Dublin on the 22nd, and then I'm off until the next thing I have to do is the 5th of January. I'm doing a radio series for BBC Northern Ireland, so I have to write that.
Wow.
So we're doing so we'll have to start just get my bits together for that on the 2nd of January. So I'm off for all of Christmas, really.
That's good then, at least.
So you're writing a radio show?
Yeah, well, I'm a panelist with Sally Ann Hayward and Teresa Livingston. Teresa is she's a brilliant comedian. She's a musical comedian from Belfast.
Right.
So she's doing this show called Tell Teresa, and it's a little bit similar to Agony Rants, which is why that was the first when I was first offered. I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to do that. It's too similar. But she's a musical comedian, so it's different. Like, and also I love Sally Ann Hayward. She's a UK comic and she's hilarious. So,
That's brilliant.
That's going to be really good fun. Yeah, it'd be good fun. We've done one already, and we should do I think another 5.
Brilliant.
The bloody cat probably doesn't know whether they're coming or going, do they, with you?
She's so depressed. It's terrible. Like, she started to do this thing now, like where she shits on the floor. And she won't do it. Yeah, it's when I come home, then she'll do a shit in the floor, and then she'll go meow, and like come in, and then she'll just sit beside it going, might want to pick that up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
The attitude.
Yeah, it's big attitude. You have to admire it though.
Oh, listen, yeah, I mean, I'd love the confidence to be able to take a shit on the floor and then demand somebody come in and clean it. Look at that. Look at that. Pick it up.
Yeah. No consequences to that woman at all. Like,
that is so funny. Cats have awful attitudes, so they do.
I know, yeah. It's so funny because you get about 2 seconds with a cat. Like they're really excited to see you, and they're like, oh, go on, rub me. And then you rub them for literally 2 seconds, and then they're furious. They're just like, get your hand off me. Get your hand off me now. Like you see the eyes getting big and the claws coming out like they're about to pounce. But I do. And like I have to say though, I am looking forward to a bit more time at home. I have that next year.
Yeah.
Really? So you're saying no to a lot of things next year?
Well, no, it's just that a lot of it's a lot more Ireland.
Okay.
And there's not a lot of like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. It's mainly I'll be working Thursday to Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'll be in Ireland. So
and you won't be programming.
I won't be programming.
You say that, and then you get a phone call for like the Van Sheev in a show 2 or something. And then you'll be like, well, guess I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday again.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Oh God, love to go to the Golden Globes.
Would you?
That's one.
Yeah.
Do you
oh my God,
awards thing? Do you sit up to watch them or nothing? Like,
no, I don't really watch them, but I definitely have. I always like love to see who wins. Like, I mean, it must be amazing to win. I just think of the goodie bags.
Yeah, the goodie bags.
I Google it every year to see what's in the goodie bags. Like, some of them are getting iPads.
And a goodie bag?
Yeah. Oh yeah, like the goodie bags are. Yeah.
Jeez,
what's it called? It's the gifting rooms. That's what it is. So you walk through and they just give you stuff because of who you are. I mean, fab.
Jeez, I remember seeing it one year where they were giving away like flights and holidays from 5-star resorts in Mauritius and all that, Barbados and all. I think that might have been the Oscars, but the people that are receiving these, do they even need them?
I can't say.
No, they don't. They don't at all. Like that, and it's gas. I never get offered anything, but like my cat Boots does.
Really?
Like, yeah, I've got emails before that were addressed to Boots. That were like, and then I get other emails that are like, would Boots be interested in? Like, what? And these aren't like necessarily from companies. These are from PR people that will be like. So they obviously know me and they represent their brands, but they're like, nah, just the cat.
Not you, Rod.
We could send them chocolate or no, just cat food, like cat bowls. you name it, they all rock in for Boots. And the thing that annoys me is it all goes into Lisa Richards, my agents, and they ring and they go, there was a PR drop for you. And I'm like, lovely, what's in this? And then I go down, more cat food.
No way.
Yeah. And I'm doing Insta stories with the cat. And I'm just like, what? Why am I doing this?
No, that is so funny. Although I'm
I know.
really sorry for you, considering like what all the other stars get.
I know. Like, like we go to dressing room Joanna, and it's just like clothes, books, like wine, all the good stuff just coming in through the door.
I'd 100% be taking advantage of that and just constantly be doing little things with Boots and being like, oh yeah, Boots, you love those Terry's chocolate oranges, don't you? You do.
Yeah.
And CBD moisturizer, mad for that, aren't you?
That's a great idea. Yeah, maybe I will actually. Yeah, you're dead right. Actually, I need to up the game now. I need to up the game.
Oh, Boots, your iPhone broke. Oh no.
Boots' iPhone broke.
We'd love an iPhone Pro, wouldn't we?
How will you WhatsApp me now? Hi, Apple.
Yeah, but PR companies are like, no, nobody wants to be like him. The cat maybe, but nobody wants to be like him.
So how do you qualify for the human being version of the PR drops?
I don't know. I wonder if you just have to ring people and go, hey, give me stuff.
I mean,
like, I think that the part of the art is being surprised when you've been given it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, like, oh wow, it was gifted, yum, delicious. Whereas, like, you were literally begging it for 6 months.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I've seen all the Instagram posts where you are like, oh, hey, such and such a hotel, would love to stay there, and then suddenly you're in a luxury suite and it's hashtag gifted. Stop that messing now.
No, hashtag begged.
Beg, borrowed,
hashtag not a shred of dignity.
Yeah. I do love that. That's one of my favorite things on social media now, where you get like an angry restaurateur who posts like an influencer messaging them, and it's like, if you give me a table for two and a luxury 6-course tasting menu, I will give you 2 Instagram posts. And it's like, will you? Yeah. Fuck off.
Yeah. It's so funny. It is so.
Did you see it today? There was a report saying that 50% of Ireland's social media influencers were found not to declare that they were gifted ads or whatever. 50%.
Oh,
I'm shocked by that, though.
Yeah. Sorry?
I'm not shocked by that.
I kind of am, because the people that I'd follow would do like hashtag ad or hashtag gifted. So now that it's not there, does that mean that they are just pulling the wool over their followers' eyes? Like,
oh wow! So do they have to? Like, is it the social media company that'd be annoyed at them then?
No, I think there's like an authority.
I'd say revenue. I'd say would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, right.
The way I read about it, now I could be miles off, but you know the way there's a broadcast authority. It was like, there was like a standards authority, a consumer standards authority or something like that. Did a report, and they found that X amount of Ireland social media influencers weren't declaring their posts as ads or gifted or promos and stuff like that.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah, you know.
So all those lads out there with their luxury Andrex toilet roll, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the only toilet roll for me. I bought this myself.
Yeah. I wonder. I can't remember what hashtag I used when I did that. That's what will happen now. I'll end up in jail for a cat bowl. Like, well,
you were in the report.
we all know this wouldn't last.
Boots Farrelly's in the report.
Yeah, she made a formal complaint.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a social media influencer years ago getting a 10-day all expenses trip to Japan with like Emirates or Etihad or something like that. And I was thinking, they must have had about 50,000 followers maybe, but I remember thinking, out of how many of those 50,000 will actually now book a trip to Japan?
I know, yeah. It's like, weird, isn't it?
It was like, do you remember, was it like 2 or 3 years ago when Center Parcs first opened?
Yeah.
And every influencer in the country was all there on the same weekend.
Yeah.
And I was like, if anything, this is put me off. Because if I bumped into one of those fuckers on my holiday, I'd be very upset.
Yeah, in Longford. But you're paying about 1,500 quid for a weekend and they were getting it for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, madness. Unless you were there, of course.
But like if some like now that's the sort of thing, right? That's the sort of thing of like, do you want to go to Centre Parks for a weekend? No. No, I don't. Do you know what? I'd pay 1,500 quid not to have to go to Centre Parks for a weekend.
I'll give it back.
No, that's it. I'm Trabalgan loyal myself, so I won't be going.
Well, I used to go to Trabalgan when I was a kid, and we used to all be go down to the pool, there's waves, go down to the pool, and we'd be in the pool for a week, and we'd all get like we'd all have chlorine burns on our legs, like.
Yeah.
Be in the pool for a week.
Yeah, like you'd be in it as soon as it opened, and you'd be like kicked out of it at 10 o'clock when it was closed.
Wrinkles on your fingers and all.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like your skin would literally be flaking off. We'd be in the pool so much. It was just when Ma used to have to go. We'd just have to go into Middleton and buy E45 cream and like slather us all. It's like, I don't think you're supposed to be in there for 12 hours. Like,
it's so true, though, isn't it? Even when you used to go to Mosney and all.
Oh,
yeah, no.
Fucking Mosney. Holy shit.
Mosney's direct provision now.
Yeah.
And even when they say it, you're like, yeah, makes sense. It was direct provision then.
Wasn't it like the bar, or the pub in Mosney had like a wall that was a window into the swimming pool?
Yeah.
And it was always just all the creepy dads sitting there. It was like, I'm only 6, but I know something's not right, you know?
Yeah, this isn't right. Stay away from the window, everyone.
I wonder if the pool is still functioning.
I fucking doubt it, man.
God, yeah.
I don't know.
Like, Trabalgan was like, I used to love Trabalgan.
Yeah,
like, we used to go every single Easter, and I remember, like, I remember one year my mom bought, like, there was 5 of us at the time, and I think it was 16, like, and my mom went to the markets on Thomas Street, and she all bought us like a Do the Bartman tracksuit.
Bought you what?
Like Do the Bartman. And we all had the exact same tracksuit, went down there. We all thought we were the shit. Like,
that's fucking amazing.
And like, there's 10 years between me and my brother. Like, my brother was 6. I was dressed as a 6-year-old.
That is actually spectacular, man. Yeah.
That's such Irish mammy, though, isn't it?
I know, yeah. We all thought we were like
I remember the same clothes. I remember
everybody, if you can do the Bartman. Yeah.
Unreal. I remember like growing up, and when I was that age, and you'd see like 3 sisters, and there would be about 6 years in the gap between all 3, but they'd all be dressed in the same clothes. What was the story there? Is that just an Irish
weird thing to do to your kid? Yeah, I think it was back when they didn't give a shit about kids, and it was so that if you lost one, but look, there was another one that was just the same. Like, look, you went out with 3, but now there's 2. Look, they all look the same.
Deadly.
But yeah, Trabalgan was great. We used to go every year, and you just run riot for like it was like you were literally let off the lead. And like your dinner, you'd be having like a Mars ice cream. Like in your swimming togs. Like it was just
Come here, how's Agony Ants going?
It's good, yeah, it's going really well. Like loads of people are listening to it, which really pisses me off. Because like when I started that, when Neve wanted to do that podcast, and I really didn't want to do that podcast. I was just like, I've got it.
You ever want to do anything, girl?
You see,
this is the lesson I learned in the pandemic. Just go against your gut all the time. I had a podcast where I would track down my people I was a big fan of as a kid, and I was making these episodes that would take me like a week to edit. I was like, that's my podcast, and now we go in, we talk for an hour, and it goes out, and people love it. Like it's getting like so many downloads, but yeah, it's mad. I love working with Neve because I've known her since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And she's Neve is just what you see is what you get. She's really good crack. She's really plain speaking, and we've always had a laugh together. And she's just really funny, and she's an absolute nightmare to produce. Like, because, really? Like I have to edit it, and she just says whatever she wants. Neve, But she's so funny. I love working with her. Like, we have a great time doing it. Like,
Did you do a live show?
no, we didn't do a live show. No, we like maybe at the end of my tour we might do.
You're too busy.
Something, but I know. Yeah. But you see, the thing about it is she gigs as well, so she's always out with her band. So,
Right.
yeah, we might do something like at the end. Like, yeah, maybe it would be good to do something in a year's time or something. But yeah, I mean, like I'm surprised by how many people listen to it. Like I'm,
Why
I
would you be
definitely
surprised though?
Well, just because I always thought like that podcasts where two people just talk to each other. There's a million of them.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, I've been doing this other podcast, and it does like people were listening, but like nowhere near the number of people that listen to us. Because I thought it was a really weird combo, like a Eurovision winner and a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but agony ants, like you're like, I think the name suggests that you're going to help people, like in a comic way.
Things that people are willing to tell us about.
I'd say that surprised you as well, though.
Yeah, like people that are just like, I'm having an affair. What should I do?
Are you serious?
Maybe they don't have an affair. Yeah, everyone's having an affair. Yeah, and we get like some of the letters are so funny. Like some of them are just so funny. We had this one in a couple of weeks ago from a woman who her sister had bought a floating shelf. Like a shelf without brackets.
Yeah.
And her sister said, "Oh, I was just down the hardware. I got a floating shelf." Yeah. She's like, "Oh, I can't wait to go around and have a look at it." So she went around and they were having a cup of tea, and she was just watching the shelf because she thought it was a shelf that would like move around the wall.
Stop.
She's like, "I think this shelf is broken. Maybe it's on a timer." Like, I swear to God. And we read the letter out on the pod, and we didn't change a word of it, and it was one of the most hilarious things I've ever read in my life. We were laughing for about 10 minutes.
That is hilarious.
Oh my, yeah, fucking bought the shelf in Hogwarts, did she? That is actually amazing.
That is unreal. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's fascinating what people are willing to tell us. Like, it's so funny.
It's, those kind of things. I love that. I think, what's the girl's name? She does Jenny Keane on Instagram. She's the sexpert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And people send her like things, and it's done all anonymously and all. But I'm like, I wouldn't be sharing that level of detail with anyone now. Do you know?
I know.
Like, people are. They said they'll keep it anonymous. I'll confess fucking everything. Hang on.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, when people write to us, the amount of it always happens that they will go from Jenny, and then at the last thing they write, "Please don't use my real name," and we will have done.
You've already said the name.
Used the name, and then I've got to go all the way back and put beeps over everywhere. And the number of times I've been in bed, like at 10 to 12, when an episode's dropping 12, and I go, "Oh my God, I forgot to beat the name. I forgot to beat the name." Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, I'm terrified of that. Like, but yeah, it's really good. Like, we have a ball doing it. Like, it's like it's like, oh, sorry.
All right.
It's like it's like yourselves. It's like you enjoy being around somebody, and then like it's not work. Like, it's just fun.
Yeah,
it's just fun. That's it. It does. It's the crack. Like, and it's one of them. I think I love podcasts where the laughter is contagious.
Yeah.
When you start laughing, I'll start laughing, and I might have even missed a little second or two of what you have said, but just the laughter gets me. And I fuck. There's nothing better than if you're sitting in traffic fuming, whatever you're listening to breaks into a fit of giggles, and then you get the giggles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's to be fair, that's all we wanted it to be. All we wanted to be was something that keeps people, laughing on a Monday morning.
Yeah,
that's it. Whether it's you're going to work or it's a dog walk or whatever the hell it is, just half an hour of just silly fun. Like, we have such a laugh doing it. And Niamh is so funny, and people love her. Like, people absolutely. Like, whenever I go anywhere with her, or like, immediately people are like, there's always somebody crying. That's
the Eurovision effect, man. That's what it does.
There's always somebody that's like, "Oh my God," and then they tell her how much they love the song, and then it's because like whoever they watched it with's dead,
Oh yeah,
So
right.
you can see the transition. It's like, oh, I loved you, and yeah, I remember the night you won, and you're like, oh God,
Here we
we're in the
go.
cinema.
Danny loves Eurovision, crowd.
Do
Do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was hoping that because it's in the UK next year, I was hoping that it would be in Glasgow. That got down to the final two,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
they gave it to Liverpool, and I was like, ah, just can't bring myself to go to Liverpool over it. I just can't.
Why?
All right.
To be honest with you, I don't know. I'm just adverse to going to England sometimes. I just don't.
Right.
I just, and it's not. I'm not like anti-Brit or anything like that. I don't really care. It's just, I don't know. There's something about going to England that I'm like, got a fucking effort at that. Whereas Scotland, which is a fucking, but 20 minutes longer on an airplane than Liverpool or whatever. But I'm like, I'll go there. I don't know. It's an irrational thing.
Very irrational.
It is very, but I'm full of those. I have lots of irrational things. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I will murder a wasp, but I'll do everything in my power to release a bee into the wild. You know what I mean? Like, just constant irrational things. I can't have, if I'm having a fry and there's a fried egg and beans on the plate, if the beans touch the fried egg isn't getting eaten, lads. But if it's scrambled egg, I've no problem.
I have to say, I'm completely on the same page.
No.
I'm absolutely on the same page. Yeah. Bean juice can't touch anything.
Bean juice.
Yeah. The only thing that bean juice can touch and survive is sausages.
That's a very valid point. Yeah. Very
Sausage
valid.
and beans, perfect. But if it touches the egg, because I was in a hotel, where were we? We were in Telford, actually. We were in Telford. That's where it was. And the reason I'm so surprised about that is because when we were coming away in the car afterwards, I was saying, God, that was such a good show. And if in 6 weeks' time, if somebody says to me, have I ever been to Telford? I'd be like, no. But this happened in Telford. And it was, I was getting my fry the morning, like after in the hotel. And there was, I put my beans in a jug because there was nothing else to put the beans in. I didn't want them on my plate to touch my fried egg. So I put them in a jug, and everyone was looking at me like I was absolutely insane. I was like, this is like, it would be far much worse if they were touching the egg.
Yeah.
No, it's all going into your mouth, lads.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No,
There's
Graham.
things that shouldn't meet.
Yeah.
So what about bean juice on the toast? Like, do you let it touch?
Well, that's different though. Like beans
That's
on toast
different.
is completely different now.
Right.
I know people who have beans and mashed potato, and to be honest with you, I have them blocked on WhatsApp after discovering it.
Do you know what my sister used to do? My sister used to mash up waffles with beans.
Ah, no.
Yeah, that's a real 90s thing, though, isn't it?
No, that's something that should be deleted from our history. That's not. We're not going to come out well in that.
It's not, no, and it's
I'm starving now.
I'm lepping myself, to be honest with you. I am, but I remember there going back years, and I pulled into like a deli or whatever in a garage, and a man in front of me was getting a breakfast roll, and I mean, your one wasn't going to be able to, in any way, shape, or form, close the roll in some sort of meaningful way, like. But after he had piled in everything onto it, this thing had hash browns, bacon, black and white pudding, egg, and everything. And your one goes, that everything? He's like, yeah. And she's about to get assistance to carry this fucking heifer of a roll away. And he goes, actually, wouldn't put a drizzle of beans across the top of it.
No.
A drizzle of beans.
Drizzle of beans.
No.
Yeah.
I would have rung the guards if I'd have been that woman. There's like.
Gross, he was a guard.
She should have pushed her panic button.
He probably was a guard, yeah.
He was a guard. That's the thing.
Was he?
He was in uniform. It's either he was guard or he was an elaborate stripper. It's
God.
So,
there's just something about bean juice. Oh, no.
I think the two is a very irrational fear here.
And I love beans. That's the weird thing. I absolutely love beans. But bean juice and anything is
a great source of protein. You know, why wouldn't you like them?
Exactly.
Bro, is Fascinated coming back, or are you too busy?
No, it is coming back. Yeah, I'm doing another season of it. I've started recording it.
Oh, unreal.
Yeah, I've done a couple of interviews, and I just want to line them up. I'm going to try and get it all done in January and then put it out in February. That's my plan. But that might change.
And still, your kind of heroes still interviewing.
Yeah. I'm doing it's all 80s, 90s telly and pop, basically. So I can't wait to like see who I can get now. Like, because I haven't tried anyone in a while. I spent years like, it takes so long to put a season of that together. Like, Jesus, there's so much work goes into it. But but I love it. Like, I do love it. I mean, me and 90s pop, talk about that forever.
And now that you're a household name, you have everyone, I suppose.
That's it. Yeah, it's from the papers with Moore and Dahi.
Yeah. But isn't like in England they're obsessed with nostalgia now as well, aren't they? Even with the tours.
I know. Yeah.
With like all the 90s, late 90s.
Oh yeah, they're brilliant. Like, I went to that. It's not really 90s now, but I went to that festival, Forever Young.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's so good. I mean, that is just what a weekend. That is fantastic. And it was all just the 80s acts, and they were all like brilliant. Like, Chesney Hawkes and Tapau, and it was fantastic. Now, I mean, also I felt really young because everyone there, like, I mean, they're literally like, they need to start putting some 90s acts in, because they're gonna have to put a morgue into the place.
That's touring again this year, isn't it?
Yeah, they're coming again. Yeah, they do it. It's a festival. It runs for a weekend, and
did in Punchestown,
somewhere Kildare.
One of them.
Punchestown House. Yeah.
Jeez, that was gas. I remember seeing stuff on Instagram about it, people at it, and thinking, Jesus, there's actually loads at this.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, really good. Like, but it's just one of those really chill festivals where, you're listening to every song you hear was a massive hit, because they're only doing 5 songs each. Like, so it's just the hits.
Amazing. That does sound, because like even the lineup for Electric Picnic next year, like I've heard some of and I'm like, oh, not bad. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, but then I'm equally like, I'm 35. The thought of sleeping in a tent in a field drive me demented. I can't do it.
Not for me anymore.
To stand there for an hour and a half to listen to something that I know 4 songs, but because I'm old and this is young music.
No, you have to invest in the whole weekend. Friday.
Can't do it. Whereas that little sprints of 5 songs in a little nice
little sprints of 5 songs.
Just a little. Yeah. Oh, it's perfect. It's great. Like I'm not one for music festivals now at all. Like, even when I gig at them, I arrive an hour before I'm on, and I leave an hour after I'm done, because I'm just like, nah.
And can you stay for the whole weekend if you like?
Yeah, usually they give you a weekend pass, like,
and you just go home.
Just like, just go home. I mean, like, I'd never go down the night before. Like, if there was somebody brilliant on, I'd stay. But I'm usually like, that's what's great about that Forever Young festival. It's like, I love all these. Like. Whereas, who did I see that was good? Garbage. I saw Garbage at Electric Picnic one year.
Oh yeah,
they were amazing. And
your
man Noel Rodgers.
Noel Rodgers and Chic. Yeah.
Noel Rodgers knows Ireland, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I feel like he's fucking everywhere. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it's always like Noel Rodgers, and he's in the TF Royal. I'm like, God. Is that what writing all those songs gets you? Okay.
He's here again.
Gross. So Fascinated is coming back. Agony Rants still going strong. Great podcast. And Glamour Hammer. If people want to attempt to get tickets and find out where you're playing and all that kind of crack, where can they go?
They can go gearoidfarrelly.com, or the bio in my Instagram. Anything that's not sold out is in there.
Oh, lovely. Anything that's not sold out. Love it.
So if it's in there, you can get tickets. If you want to, because there's nothing worse than going through, like, click. It's sold out. Now I'm annoyed.
As I learned when I went to book Portlaoise, and I went, all right, well, that's what I get for being slow. So
there's another one going on, I think.
Is there? Fantastic.
I think there's another one going on. There is the third one, I think, or a fourth one. I can't remember. But third in Portlaoise.
Right. Well,
on the 7th. Well, I'll give you tickets.
No.
Rock up.
I insist on doing it like a normal member of the public, even if I am on Gogglebox.
You can put it on Instagram. Do #ad.
Yeah, exactly.
#gifted. Yeah.
Gifted. Yeah.
Growth, as always, it's been great chatting to you and lots of fun. And I wish you all the best with your Christmas break, your BBC radio show. your Fascinated podcast, your Agony Rants podcast, your Glamour Hammer tour, your relationship with Boots. I mean, for fuck's sake, look, you have a lot on, right?
My relationship with Boots is the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. The only thing valuable to me in that list.
Boots is acting the spoiled bitch.
Listen,
Yeah, she really
and so she should. That's a cat's right in this day and age.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Coach Farrelly, it's been a blast, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
You're a gentleman.
Take care.
Thanks so much.
A great time for Groge. Great time for him.
You said something there about the laughter is contagious. I love when he's starting to tell a story that he knows in himself that it's funny, and he laughs before he tells it.
Yeah.
That just cracks me up. It's just very, like you said, contagious.
Yeah. He's brilliant, and I know he said it there and all that. Like, no, he knows he's a good comic, but I hope he knows how good he is. He's a funny man.
Because we did touch on imposter syndrome there, and a lot of our guests have a bit of imposter syndrome. Like he has said no to all of his jobs in the arts, so to speak, when he's brilliant.
Absolutely
You
brilliant.
know, as he said there, Joanne asked him 5 times to support her, and I mean, she's Jesus landlord of Vicar Street now, isn't she?
Well, this is it. Yeah, owns the shop. Her name is basically going above the door. So I mean, look, but fair play to her. Congrats.
Yes.
And, yeah, always good to see Irish comedians doing well, Graham.
Absolutely.
But anyway, yeah, thanks very much to Gearoid. And as we said when you're talking to him, lads, do check out Glamour Hammer Tour 2023 coming to a venue near you. But for this week, that'll do us, Mero. If people want to listen to previous episodes or subscribe for future episodes, or even leave us a little review on Spotify if they like us. If you don't like us, don't do it, lads. But if people want to, where can they do it?
They can search WTSpod on any podcast provider, Podbean, Podcast Republic, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, anywhere, everywhere you get a podcast, just put WTSpod in. We're also at WTSpod on Twitter. He's at Danjo Murray and I'm at Merrigan Mania. And until next time,
Clear eyes.
all hearts.
Can't lose.
Poop sweet.